Yo, what's up, guys? It's Spectrum back here with a brand new video, and actually no review for this one. So I got some things to talk to you guys about, and this is for my audience and potentially other people who need a video like this. So, um, so what I'm going to be talking about today is viewing your mental illness as a construct, and what that can possibly do for your own mental health and stuff like that. No script. This is all off the top of my head. I feel like, I don't do scripts for videos anyway. I don't feel like I really need to. Um, so, anyway, let's get right into it. So, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of my backstory, and then I'm gonna sort of get into the lessons after that. So, the first thing I want to iterate right off the bat is I am absolutely no stranger to mental illness. And I'm talking about like some of the worst mental illness that I feel like any human, unless you literally live your entire life without a house or sustainable, a sustainable food diet and whatnot, and you're struggling for water. That stuff, I can't speak on that. So if you're from a third world country, if you would like to continue watching this video, that's perfectly fine. And my empathy and my condolences and prayers go out to you. And I'm sorry that you have to live that way. This is mainly for my Western audience because here in USA, mental illness is so fucking rampant. It's crazy. So I've experienced trauma for my entire life. In bits and pieces, of course, not every single day. That would be fucked. And I'm quite sure that's literally impossible, if not very extremely improbable. So, from the earliest memories that I have in my childhood, I've had anxiety attacks. I've had anxiety. I've always had it in my legs mainly when it gets really bad, and that is, I'm pretty sure that's my earliest memory as a child, is having anxiety like in the back of my thighs. That's where I get it, and then I'll get it in my chest too, so stuff like that. And then sometimes I'll get it in the back of my neck and stuff like that. So these are the places that I feel anxiety, and it can be all over your body as well. I've experienced that too. And I've experienced, paralyzing depression, extreme, what do they call it? Severe depression. And then they diagnosed me with some other depression. I don't know. I don't have the paperwork, and I wouldn't show it to you anyway because that's confidential information between me and the hospital. But I'm going to say this. I fucking made it. I survived. I've been suicidal. I've been in that mindset. I was stuck there for years, but I fucking survived. And so for me, the suicidal stuff really started when I was about 16 years old. I had to drop out of school because of it. I still haven't graduated. I'm 25. But everyone does it at their own pace, so I don't have any shame in that. I literally don't care. I don't regret it. I had to get out of school to have less pressure on my shoulders so I could fucking survive. That's what I did, and I did it. Thankfully, my mom, even though she wasn't as great of a mother back then, she was supportive enough to say, okay, you can drop out of school, blah, blah, blah. She wasn't going to make me because, she sort of understood my situation. And I've been there. I've been in those places. I've been so fucking depressed that you can't go to work. I've been there. And I was only 19 or 20 at the time when I was experiencing that. Still really young. It's only 5, 6, 7 years later at this point. But I feel like at this point, I've experienced enough of like the mental illness, or not the mental illness. I experience it every day still. But, the, what kind of adjective do I want to use to describe the pain? I guess paralyzing, but I don't want to over abuse that word because it's not even necessarily paralyzing. It's just crushing mental illness. There we go. The crushing sort of mental illness that I used to experience on a daily fucking basis. And that's sort of where viewing mental illness as a construct comes into play. So I'm going to get into some more nitty gritty personal details about my life. And actually, I'm going to explain this a lot more in detail versus just, I had anxiety since I was a kid, since I was born. So after Grace and I broke up, OG viewers of the channel will know who Grace is. I've had a video or two with her. I had a choice. I could either let the pain consume me and repress it and never feel okay again, or, okay again. I use that term loosely because I hardly felt okay before, but that's besides the point. or I could view it as a construct and face the fucking pain. And I took the latter choice. I faced the pain. You know, it was the most agonizing thing I've ever done. More agonizing than being so depressed you can't go into a job. More agonizing than being so fucking anxious from abusers in your household, you know, throwing everything they can at you verbally and whatnot and putting you down at every turn. It was worse than all of that. And those are some of these things I've experienced. I've been physically abused too. When I was a fucking kid, I was physically abused like fucking crazy. But that's neither here nor there. I've made my peace with it and I've moved on. It is what it is. It happened and it doesn't bug me anymore. So it was the most agonizing thing I had ever had to do. Probably the most painful thing I've ever fucking experienced too, because not only was I facing the pain from the breakup of losing my first love, the woman that I actually wanted to marry, and possibly maybe even my soulmate. I don't know about soulmate necessarily, that's why I said possibly. But I also had to deal with all the fucking pain from all the trauma, all the abuse, all the neglect that I've endured my entire fucking life. I had to tackle all of that at once. And it's not like I got to choose, you know, like which memories I had to cleanse or whatnot. It all happened at once. Day by day it happened, you know, and it took me, how long did this take me? Okay, so for the majority of the pain and like the abandonment anxiety was the biggest thing I fucking worked on, because my abandonment anxiety used to be fucked. Absolutely out of fucking control. You know, it would consume me. Like, say I was playing a game with my friends, with Austin and whoever, what have you. Literally a year ago, as soon as I would leave the party chat, I would get anxiety like no other. And it wouldn't last for too long, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. But nowadays, that abandonment anxiety is still there, but it lasts for maybe a few seconds, and then it goes away. Maybe a minute at most. And the reason for that is because I've taken mental illness and I materialized it mentally into a construct. And what doing this does is make it tangible enough so you can battle it. Like one-on-one, literally a boxing match. You don't necessarily have to think that way about it in your brain, because if you think about, oh, me fighting anxiety and it's a person, that's going to get you nowhere. What I'm talking about here is if you stop repressing your pain and you actually manage to get the balls and the willpower to face it. This goes for men and women too. I know women have different things to worry about versus guys. I get it. But pain is pain. That's the bottom fucking line. Though our experiences may be vastly different, our pain is the same. Now, for me versus a neurotypical individual, my pain may be different feeling versus theirs. Regardless, pain is the same. Everyone experiences pain. Everyone experiences anxiety. Everyone experiences depression. And about half of those people experience suicidal thoughts. So, generalize it all in your head. You know, sit there and like think about all the fucking shit you've been through. Don't just push it out, because pushing it out will only make it worse. I promise you. You want to face it when you have the time and when you are capable of doing so. If you have a full-time job, well, I mean, if you have other things to worry about than facing your pain, then this video isn't for you. You can click off this video now and go on about your day. However, if you can take the time to at least take a month to yourself, maybe you go to work during the day, maybe you work a part-time job or something, that leaves you with enough time to sit there and actually heal yourself. Because when you're facing this pain bit by bit, day by day, that is what healing, that is the fundamental of mental healing. At least in my personal opinion. I'm not a therapist or anything, but you know, I've analyzed my fucking brain my entire life. I know how it works. You know, I've analyzed other people's experiences and whatnot, and what they've told me from my personal understanding. It's not one-to-one, of course, because my image of their experiences in my head is definitely different from what they actually experience. Regardless, you know, I've analyzed all this my entire life, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about to at least a small degree. So, ADHD brain go crazy. I literally forgot what I was saying before I went off into that rant about, oh, I'm so analytical about it. Yeah, so if you take the pain day by day, even if you work a full-time job, I'm sure you can find at least an hour of your day to just take to yourself. Talk to your family about it. If you have a wife and kids, you know, say to your wife, hey, or wife or husband, whatever, say to your partner, hey, can you take the kids out for maybe an hour or two? Something like that. Find a way to be inside of your place of residing alone. Because only alone can you truly do this. You can be alone, but there's other people in other rooms. You can just put headphones in, listen to music or whatever, cry it out. Listen to a song that triggers these emotions, because when these emotions are triggered, I get it, man. You become scared. You're like, oh, this is so much fucking pain. This is so much greater than me. It is not greater than you. You are the greatest common denominator in your life. You have to realize that, and you have to also realize that you are capable of doing this. And like I said, it took me 4 years to do it, almost 5. Even earlier this year, I was still dealing with so much relationship anxiety, like literally 2 or 3 months ago. But I just, since I already conquered the majority of my other pain, it was kind of easy for me to conquer this. And it took me maybe a week to get over my relationship pain and stuff like that. Like the whole being so insecure about everything that's going on in said relationship. That's what I'm talking about here. Now, I can't get into specifics because I don't exactly know what triggered it and whatnot. But bottom line of that part is, if your partner's triggering anxiety in you almost every day, that's not your partner. You should not be with that person. You need to break it off and move on. It's better to be single and not hurting than to be in a relationship and constantly hurting. Trust me on that. So, yeah, that's pretty much the point of what I'm trying to say here. And I'm not saying that it'll take you 4 years. I mean, maybe everyone's pain is different. Everyone's level of pain is different as well. But the fundamental point of this is that everyone's pain is the same. The levels are different, the intensity may be different, but the pain itself is the same. The concept of the pain is the same. Fucked up shit happens to us, we generate pain from it. That's just how it works. We generate the anxiety, we generate the depression, we generate the chemical imbalance. That's just how it works. So yeah, you kind of have to use, I mean, for me, I use Dragon Ball as an analogy, in my previous videos where I was kind of sort of talking about emotional illness and stuff like that. But, I mean, like you can, maybe if you can visualize, I know some people can't visualize in their heads. I can barely do it myself, so don't feel bad. But if you can visualize in your head to where, okay, so I'm me, and then my emotional illness is this construct. And then if you can also take yourself outside of your emotions. So I saw this video online, I forgot her name. It's this really weird, quirky chick, but she's not weird in a bad way. That's more of a compliment, because I'm weird too. And she said when she gets angry or stressed or whatever, she takes the time to realize that these emotions are not her directly, but they are a part of her. She takes time to observe them. She literally did this with her eyes. She takes the time to observe these emotions, and that really fucking helped me. Because I saw that video literally while I was in that relationship I was talking about earlier, where that person was inducing anxiety on me almost every single day. Whether it was directly or indirectly, it doesn't matter. If someone is inducing anxiety on you every single day, that's not your person. So yeah, I have no idea how long this video has been. It feels like it's maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes in. So is there anything else I want to touch on here? Oh, your end goal has to be able to love yourself, because when you're in these extremely painful states mentally, chances are you don't love yourself. Chances are you actually may even despise yourself. I used to hate myself too. I've been there as well. No, I love myself. I'm proud of my progress. I'm not, like perfect by any means, and I still have a lot of things to work on physically. But be that as it may, I went from absolutely despising myself to loving myself. And it is possible. I promise you, it is fucking possible. If you need therapy, go get it. If you think you need something to help yourself out mentally, do it, get it, whatever. Don't let anyone talk you out of doing things that you think will make you feel better mentally. That is the worst thing that you can do. Take advice from people who want to see the best in you, from people who listen to your situation and then give you advice accordingly. That's how you should do it if you need to seek advice from somebody. Because I didn't do this alone. I didn't conquer all this shit alone. After I broke up with Grace, I doubled down. I was like, and another big point I want to make here is that the power of friendship is fucking real. I promise you, it is fucking real. Because before Grace and I broke up, I took all of my friends for granted. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. All my best friends, who I'm closest to now, who I was closest to then, I took them all for granted. I was like, I can message them anytime, blah, blah, blah. I can message them in 6 months, 9 months, a year. And I don't do that anymore. I talk to my friends as much as I can. I talk to them whenever they're not busy. because you never know when they're going to go. And once you become close to your friends and like you really cling to the love that you have for them, you can then become close to yourself. That's how that works. It's kind of a yin and yang situation. They go in tandem with each other. And if your friends are bringing out the best in you and you're seeing that, oh, I'm not actually such a bad person after all. You know, I am capable of doing good things. I am capable of changing for the better. Though these are people that you want to stick around with. These are people that you want to keep around in your life, and don't fuck up the relationship with them, because most cases you only get one shot with these kinds of people. They're just good people. They know their worth, you know, and they're not gonna unless they know you really well and know that, you know, you're kind of fucky, not fucky in a bad way, but like kind of fucky in terms of like your decision making and stuff. You know, it depends on whoever is watching this and like whatever your personal situation is. Bottom line is, try not to fuck up with your friends, especially if they're good people and they want to see the best in you and they are trying to build you up for success. So yeah, the way out for me, it was conquering my mental illness and becoming close to my friends and my mom. You know, my mom shaped up a lot over the years, and I'm really glad I have her. I'm really glad she's still around. So yeah, I mean, I hope this is all somewhat easy to understand and conceptualize for you. I know my fucking speech habits are kind of fucked. But yeah, I'm not even going to monetize this video because I don't want ads interrupting any of this. So I hope this helps you, truly. And one last thing I want to say to you before I go is that though I don't know you, though I may never know you personally, I believe in you. And you are strong. You are so much fucking stronger than you could ever imagine. Trust me on that. Once you find your pride, everything else will fall into place. I promise you. If even one of these lessons from the pride, the friends, or the conquering your mental illness helps you, then you're well on your way. I mean, the rest you may be able to figure out. Maybe you were better equipped from the start than I was. Maybe you had the lessons from the start rather than learning them on your own like I did. So, there you go. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Please share if you feel like this is going to help somebody. I don't want any of my viewers or anyone for that matter to think that suicide is a way out, because it's fucking not. It is not. I'm so glad that all those years ago I didn't do it. I'm so glad. Because if I did, I wouldn't be as fucking strong as I am today. I can get rid of my fucking mental pain in a flash now. And I'm not even on medication. I just take vitamins, you know, I drink my water, and I eat crap food, but, you know, and I go to work, and, you know, I do my due diligence. I'm trying to do better on that, you know. Do your due diligence. Sorry, I keep saying, oh, one last thing, but I want to talk about this. Now, this may differ from person to person, but there's always these posts on social media and stuff like that where it's like, if you clean your room, you'll feel better mentally. And for me, that was a lie. I had to start inward to feel mentally rather than outward, you know, because if you don't start inward, how the fuck are you ever going to be motivated to start outward and do all your tasks and your chores and stuff? Because when you're in that state, you're not motivated to do fucking shit. So start inward, take these lessons to heart. If you can apply them to your life, do it. Because this was my way out. I wish I knew this from the get-go, but I had to learn it on my own. So I'm sharing it to you. I owe this to the world. I owe this to everyone. Doesn't matter what kind of person you are. If you want a way out, this is your way out. If you need therapy, go get it. If you need more friends, go make them. I mean, life is short, man. You got to do everything you fucking can to get out of that pain as soon as you can. All right, I love you guys. Peace.